Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer Thomason, and here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers and build custom software solutions. I do a lot of work as a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and a solid 25 years in software development, I've mastered the art of transforming technology, teams, and products. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic for .NET developers. Whether you're just starting out or have been in the game for a while, knowing the right tools can make a world of difference. So today we're discussing 7 NuGet packages that every .NET developer should know. Let's dive in. All right, we're going to dive into NuGet packages that every single .NET developer out there should know. So let's get started on those today. All right, so we're going to run through these slides really quick, and then as always, we're going to dive into our code samples because there's always hundreds of code samples, and in this case, we're giving you one good code sample to illustrate all of these 7 NuGet packages. So always make sure you check out the link down below because we give away free code samples down below, and when you pull those down, there's hundreds of code samples, tons of great code. So working with JSON is a common part of daily routine for many developers, and Newtonsoft.json, also known as JSON.net, is the go-to library for JSON parsing. This library is incredibly versatile and can handle just about anything you throw at it. You can serialize, deserialize, and manipulate JSON data easy using this powerful package, and I'll give you a code sample here in a little bit. Next, entity framework. So I'm not a huge entity framework, but it's definitely one of the most widely used. It's a NuGet package that you should consider using. It's it's an object relational mapper, or ORM, that makes data manipulation easier. With entity frameworks, you can perform CRUD operations without having to worry about the complexities of the underlying database. I like dealing with the complexity of the underlying databases, which is why I usually use Dapper, which is another shout out for Dapper here, but we're going through call-in entity frameworks today. XUnit. So if you want to test like a pro, unit testing should not be a chore, and XUnit makes it a breeze. This testing framework is a reliable companion for creating robust test suites that help you maintain the quality of your code. And again, I'm going to show you some code samples, so make sure you go and hit that link down below for some of the code samples because we're going to go through all of these. Next, dependency injection is an essential part of writing clean and maintainable code. AutoFac is a dependency injection container that helps you manage your dependencies in a more elegant way. So whether your project is small or large, AutoFac can help you. You can see an example here, right? And we're going to go into some code samples too. Now, AutoMapper. Let's face it, manually mapping objects can be tedious and repetitive task. AutoMapper aims to alleviate this pain by automating the process of mapping one object to another by defining your mappings once and letting AutoMapper take care of the rest. You can save time and effort. Now, good logging can save a lot of time during debugging. Definitely a huge fan of logging. So Serialog provides structured, customizable logging that is superior to other options. It's easy to set up and very easy to use. And I'm going to add in that it actually has a lot of different plugins for a lot of the supported logging environments out there for the different cloud environments. Now, Fluent Validation. This library provides a clean and efficient way to validate your models. Thanks to its intuitive interface and support for complex scenarios, you can easily create clear and concise validation logic. So, another shout for Fluent Validation. All right, let's dive into our code samples here. As always, we love to provide you code samples, so make sure you hit the link down below. So now, first off, we can see Newtonsoft JSON, right? So we can, if we run this, we take the product, right? And we can serialize this object, and this is going to output JSON for us. So we can take a C# object. We're going to run this bad boy here. Take this C# object, and you're going to see that you're going to get, my thing starts here. See if we run up to this point. Maybe. So we can see the example here. Takes this object, we step over, we can see now we have a JSON, and we write that out to our screen, and we have the JSON, right? So the JSON representation of this object. You can also then take it and deserialize it as well, and deserialize that back, and then use the product name, right? And then we write that out, and you can see that we have the deserialized, right? So serialize, deserialize, very fast, JSON.net, it's your buddy. Entity framework. Now, entity framework is a great example where you can create objects and then take this object relational management, and without having to even worry about what the save is, right? You can see we just said save changes, and then we can grab the first one, and you can see that it will return that first one. So Entity Framework, very easy for being able to save, retrieve all your basic CRUD for particularly databases, as well as you can use it for other things as well. Now, XUnit. You can see here that we're running an example of a good test case, right? So with XUnit, we can actually then check this, and we can use the math in XUnit to be able to test that and make sure that that would return true, right? So it'll give us that example, and you can use it for testing. Now, AutoFac, right, is a really good one for DI containers, right? So you can see that we're going to have the container builder class. We're going to inject it as, my container. So this is, it's going to do the build of the container. It resolves it. It does something, right? So we can go and look at this container, right? And let's go into this here. Oops, I went into the wrong one. Let's go to this one, actually. And you can see that we have our container, right? We inherited the IMI component, and it has do something. Then we have this, and that's actually the implementation that we're going to see run here. So we can then see that we have that written out that says, my object is doing something, right? So very easy example of AutoFac. Good example there. Next, we have AutoMapper, right? So with the AutoMapper, you can see that we're automatically mapping the source and the destination here, right? So we have our source and our destination objects. The map configuration is mapping those. It creates the mapper. We create the new source object. It's then mapping it to our destination, and we can write destination.value and see that we've gotten the hello, right, from the hello world. All right, Serolog. Serolog is our buddy. It does all the heavy lifting for us here, and it can even do it asynchronous, handle the thread safe and asynchronously, right? So it creates a logger, and then we log that information. This then throws it, and we can actually log async as well. Serologger will handle both, and it'll handle all of that for us with just very simple code. Last but not least, Fluent validation, right? So the Fluent validation example here, we can run through and validate our objects and say, hey, is this valid? And say, is valid, is not valid, right? It'll check for these and then return the error message, right? And so all these good code examples, very simple code sample to point out these 7 different NuGet packages, which are pretty much essential. I would say there's very few projects that you're not using one form or another of these. So definitely, make sure that you pull down the code samples. Make sure that you like and subscribe. The best compliment you can give to us is sharing this with your friends. But also, we love to have a really good, healthy discussion. So make sure you leave a comment, even if it's just to say hi. And make sure to like and subscribe. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our coding boot camps and to build custom software solutions. So reach out. We'd love to help. Hit the links down below, and make sure you pull those code samples, and we'll see you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, because we bring you lots of great tutorials and tips that every developer should know. See you next time.